It doesn't get us anywhere. So I was asked recently by someone to check my privilege, and I did. And it's still there. Check plus. I hear people saying they want to roast chestnuts sometimes, and it just makes me think of like a pair of boobs roasting with a pair of balls on top of it. You know, like testes on the breasties. I had to end my long-distance relationship recently because she was so far away that from her room to my room, the binoculars just didn't work anymore. But I'm not always unlucky in love. I was seeing a 48-year-old woman a little while back, and my friends were incredibly grossed out. They said stuff like, "Dude, she's so old, she could be your mom." And then I realized, I'm adopted. What if they're right about that? I was thinking about putting in a butt plug once, and I didn't. I didn't have it in me. When I was driving here, coming to this student showcase, I had a total deer in the headlights moment. And since I didn't brake in time, it sort of became a deer on the headlights. And then deer in a bunch of different places moment at once. And before that, I was doing some origami folding, Japanese paper folding. I was making like this big sword, and it gave me a paper cut. I think that undesirable hip-hop music gets a bad rap. So I've always wondered if frogs masturbate ever. Because if you look at the surface of a pond, there's just like, what is all that green gunky stuff? That would be a perfect explanation for it. Some people say that I have an infectious laugh. And that's just confusing because laughter is supposed to be the best medicine. Mine just gets people sick. There's something I don't like about every bigoted person ever in the history of the world. And that's that every bigoted person always, like 100% of the time, will make generalizations about people. That's not fair. Also, I think it's unfair when you call a redheaded person a carrot top. Because the top of a carrot is green. It's incorrect labeling. The song Old MacDonald Had a Farm was written maybe almost 100 years ago, like in the 20s. So to keep things current, I think they should change it to Dead MacDonald Had a Farm. They can keep it in the past tense. Because he's dead. When I die, I'm going to have my tombstone read every confidential secret that a friend has ever told me. Because I promised I would take it to the grave with me. Another friend of mine, was one of these hypothetical friends, was feeling ill. So my advice was, maybe it's all in your head. And I was right, because he had a brain tumor. There are a lot of those stock, massively passed around Helen Keller jokes that some people hate. Like my guidance counselor in high school, who got really angry at me for telling one. She sat me down and says, "Adam, what would you say if Helen Keller heard you say that just now?" The first thing I would say is, "How?" She's dead. Let's say I have another ex, a hypothetical ex broke up with me because she said I had a fear of commitment. That's not true at all. Because when we were together, I committed adultery at least 27 times. Speaking of which, one of those times I was really into this other girl I know. And she's a total 10. And that means only 8 more years till I can hit that. You was right. I have another friend, and his son is noticeably, significantly handicapped. And I never, asked if it was a thing from birth or if it's like genetic or there was an accident. I never got into that with him until he told me once that it was because he dropped the sun on his head when he was little. That's bad luck. And he agreed. He said it's such bad luck. If I'd known he would survive the impact, I would have totally dropped him from a higher window.
Oh.
Yeah. All right, that's my stuff.